So I'm making my dinner. I couldn't think what I wanted to make because I wanted to make something that's going to last for a couple days. And one of my favorites is called shepherd's pie. Now, my shepherd's pie may be a little different from when you look at a recipe because I don't use the meat as far as the red meat. I use ground turkey. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to make it, and it's really good. So I just finished. So it's in the oven right now, and I'll show it to you when it's all done. Or maybe I better show it to you now. I'll show it to you in a minute. But what I do is I cook my ground turkey in a pan, brown it, season it. I like a bouillon cube for some flavor for my ground turkey because the ground turkey is kind of like bland. So I always use a bouillon cube. I use the beef bouillon cube. Just sprinkle it in there, and then I cut up red peppers and green peppers and yellow peppers, white onions. I love white onions. They're the healthiest for you, and they don't make you cry. And I put fresh mushrooms in the pan with my ground turkey. I put that all together, and then I cut up some red onions. I sliced them in half, and then I boiled them. I put some butter and organic salt. I always use everything organic. So if you can get the organic sea salt. And I sprinkled that in with my boiling red potatoes that I had cut up. I put some butter in there. And I put a little bit of carnation milk. I don't do cow milk. I like silk milk. I don't drink really any milks, but we keep silk milk at the house, which is we use the almond milk. And now they have the cashew milk, so I would like to try that. But whenever I do have a taste for cereal, I use the silk almond milk, vanilla, or you can get the plain. But I use carnation milk for this particular boiling of my red potatoes to have that flavor in there. Then after my potatoes are boiled, I drain all the water off of them, and I add them in my pan with my cooked ground turkey, mushrooms, red peppers, green peppers, and onions. And then I put sweet peas. I used canned sweet peas. I just poured 1 can of sweet peas. I poured in the mixture, and then I used a can of whole corn, sweet corn, and I mixed it. I put it in there, and then I stir it all up. Then I get some Vermont cheddar cheese. I grated it, put it inside. I used 1 egg to hold it together, so I put that in the mixture and stirred it up. I use organic eggs, brown eggs, and I stirred it all up. I put it in a baking pan, and then I took the rest of the cheese, my Gouda cheese and some more Vermont cheese, and just spread it across, put it in the oven, and let it bake for about 25 minutes on 400. And you take it out, just let it sit for about another 10 minutes, and then you can cut it exactly like as if it were a lasagna. And it's good, it's healthy, and it lasts a long time. Well, I think I know what's going on with the president who's in the running. So now I do think they're saying that Joe Biden may go ahead and run after all. So we're still like on pins and needles waiting for that to happen. And Hillary in the meantime has been digging herself more and more into more dirt with these email situation, and she's losing at the poll as far as at voting, as far as people who want to vote her in the primary. So we'll see what happens with that. And Donald Trump is going up further and further. If you saw The Hangover, you remember the Chinese guy, Hangover 2, and the Chinese guy who kidnapped Mike Epps in the movie. Well, now Dr. Liu, I believe is his name, he has his own comedy show now, and he's actually a doctor and an actor, and there's a lot of controversy about him saying something about, in his comedy series, he said something about his patient being fat, and it's stirred a big uproar. It's like you can't say anything about anything anymore. For years, people called me skinny, and it was usually always fat people. They always said, "Oh, you're so skinny," and my mother eventually, I was so embarrassed about being skinny. And my mother used to always say, tell them thank you, because it's usually a fat person telling you that. Like you could never say anything back to the fat person when they're calling you skinny. That hurts just as bad as somebody calling you fat. So now on his program, there's controversy because he had a fat comedy skit, and now all the fat people are saying that he's fat shaming people. Well, nowadays you just can't seem to say anything about anything. Everything is supposed to be so politically correct. I just don't understand it. Well, I wanted to show you my meal, and I got to figure out, I think it's something else I wanted to tell you guys. Let me show you. Okay, it's in the oven. Can you see it? Let's see. Can you see it? I don't know if you can really see it or not. I can't tell because I can't turn my camera around once you start videotaping, so you can't turn it around. But anyway, I told you how to do it. It's going to be really good. And maybe I can do it like this. Okay, so you get a little idea of how it's looking. So today, it's very hot in the south, and it's hot in the east. We're still having heat waves all over the country, and I'll be kind of glad when it does cool off. What about you? Did you guys hear about what happened with this young boy? He, if it wasn't for him videotaping, recording, these cops in St. Louis, he had been in trouble before in the past, and he's tried to clean up his life. He's working on his GED and everything. But the police are very much trying to frame him, and they took him and put him in a car, and they told him that if he does not give them somebody, they want him to give up someone, they want to plant a gun on someone and put them in jail to meet their quotas. Otherwise, they're going to set him up and put him in jail, and he'll be facing 9 years. Luckily, he had his phone on recording while they were talking to him in the car, and he was in the back seat. They're so stupid. And he recorded everything. He went straight to his lawyer. They gave him 24 hours to find somebody to set up. And he went to his lawyer, gave the tape to his lawyer. Now it's all over the media. This is real proof that the police are out to get our black boys and our black men. They are actually out to put us in jail, or they're out to kill them or imprison them. This is very, very serious. Go and look it up on YouTube, where just look up the guy who was being framed by the police in St. Louis, and recorded it, and pass it along. Pass it to everybody that you know. Let them know what's going on. Also, the police harassed a guy who was playing in the U.S. Open in New York. He was at the hotel. Black guy came out, and an undercover cop did not identify himself, actually threw him to the ground, wouldn't tell him what he was why he was doing that. He finally told him that he was looking for somebody, and he met the description. This guy told him that he's in town for the U.S. Open. He was staying at the hotel right there, downtown New York. The police, he said, was so mean. He said he was agitating him. He was doing it on purpose, as though he wanted to shoot him. And he told the officer, "I'm scared of you. I don't know what's going on. Here's my ID. I haven't done anything. You have the wrong person. I play at the U.S. Open." And the police officer just did not pay him any attention. He detained him, handcuffed, had him on the ground, threw him on the ground. For 15 minutes he detained him for no reason, then just let him go. So he just recently came on television. He didn't want to tell anybody about it. He said that he was not only embarrassed, but he was scared. And when he told his wife this would happen to him, his wife was like, "Well, I hope that never happens to me." And he said a bell went off in his head because he was like, if that had happened to my wife, I would be so upset. So because he does have access to the media, he went straight to the media, and he's been on the news as well. So police harassment is everywhere. Watch your backs, young men and older men, black men, because black lives do matter. You guys have a great day, and I'm going to get into my shepherd's pie. And guess what I'm going to watch tonight? Narcos. Go watch Narcos on Netflix. The episodes, I think it's only one episode. It just started, so it's one episode with a lot of series. This season, one season rather, with a lot of episodes. So I can't wait to see what's going on next. I'm not going to tell you anything what's happening with it. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I gotta eat.